here a while.
I gotta look at those, because I didn't look at those. Okay.
Doug will be here, he's just gonna be late.
Huh?
Doug will be here, he's
Yeah,
running.
he's just a little late, yeah.
He had a conflict at the first part. You ready?
You can have a seat or you can stand.
Mayor, you want to call our meeting? Mayor? Go ahead and call the meeting to order.
All right, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. To have a,
We don't have agenda, we just have interviews.
yes, Nick, how you doing? If you want to get a seat right there, and be comfortable, be okay with us? All right? That way you can relax when you're off your feet. And you're applying for a position on the Planning and Zoning Board. Tell us a little bit about why you would like to serve on that board.
Well, first of all, I apologize for being obviously underdressed. I just came from the sidewalk in Charlotte, so. But anyway, so I've been basically come to just about every planning board meeting that we've had so far. I enjoy the process, and I figured it'd be a good opportunity to get involved and not just sit here and kind of watch and see what's going on.
Yeah.
But I'm a professional engineer, so my background's in land development. I work for a firm in Charlotte, currently doing planning projects all around the state, including Belmont. So I figured I had a good technical expertise to kind of add to the mix. And open to any more consider.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Nick?
How long have you lived here?
So I lived in Belmont for a little over 2 years now. I just bought a house in that 90 acres neighborhood. I really like the kind of older side of the neighborhood. I know it's changing pretty quickly, but I feel like it's a good opportunity to step in and see how we can manage that a little bit better.
Well, talk about that, Norris. What do you think we've done well and what do we need to improve on based on your expertise?
So I'm guessing, yeah, obviously you can't fight the development, it's going to happen, but I think it seems like the direction is we're at a buy right situation currently. And there's a lot of opportunities to create a little bit more interesting and creative ways to not necessarily slow the growth, but get something out of it, essentially, is a good way to put it. In the sense that, you know, developers right now, they come in, they see the zoning, and they kind of do what's necessary. And I notice a lot of the planning board meetings, there's not a whole lot of opportunities to say, okay, this is what they can do. We can't really ask for anything back. So like things like tree save, you know, other things, like parts of the development process that make the planning a little bit better and not just, you know, most efficient for the developer. So there's good opportunities to mix them both, where the city gets something, the residents get something, the developer still makes money.
You said you are doing development around Belmont. Do you see a conflict of interest with that?
So obviously I think that there could be. I wouldn't vote on anything that I was directly involved with, but my firm hasn't really done a whole lot in Gaston County, mostly Charlotte, Davidson, kind of northern Mecklenburg County. And then we do some stuff outside, obviously, but I mean, I wouldn't step in on anything that I felt was inappropriate, and I certainly wouldn't want to look for an advantage, but I'm just trying to get involved in the process from a resident perspective.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
So I'm originally from New York. I grew up in a small town, tough farm town like this. So it's kind of a nice mix, because I moved to Charlotte originally for work. There's not a whole lot going on in upstate New York, but when I came to Charlotte, I quickly realized I didn't want to be there.
What time did you live around Buffalo?
Around Buffalo, so I lived in Tonawanda for a little while.
I know where Tonawanda is, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
I got friends in Cheektowaga and that area. So.
I can reach on that, actually. I have cousins who live in North Tonawanda. Now, usually you know everybody. I know somebody who's speaking in North Tonawanda.
That's interesting. Yeah, so I lived there when I was in school, but I only lived there for 4 years when I was a student. And I'm from kind of southern New York, just outside of New York City. So we're from, you know, me and my wife from a small farm town, so we kind of like, this is close enough where you're kind of in the country, but you're also still a little more urban. I don't need a farm yet, so.
Yeah, this is a nice area down here, though.
Yeah, we love it. So.
Any takeaways from the planning and zoning meetings you've been to on processes we could improve on?
I mean, process itself, it's kind of tough because there's usually only 1 or 2 things going on at a time. I love the fact that what we are doing well is, you know, Shelley does a great job coming in and addressing issues before they happen. There's not a whole lot of conversations about things that we missed. It's always about, hey, this is something we noticed and we kind of want to improve it moving forward. So I do appreciate that. I think overall, though, there's just a lot of, not necessarily missing pieces, but it certainly could, development for the planning ordinance could use a little bit of work as far as just newer things and, you know, improvements to it. There's definitely some technical standards that's kind of missing. I know we rely mostly on the Gaston County for like engineering review, but there's certainly other different types of developments that could be implemented. My biggest concern is that Belmont would start to look to be, I hear this sometimes in the planning board, well, this is what Charlotte does. That bothers me to some extent. I don't want to be like Charlotte. I think if we have something good that we have going here, I think the city does a good job trying to respect that. But at the same time, it's a 25-minute commute in the morning, so it's only a matter of time until that comes this way. I think managing that would be beneficial.
Richard?
Well, no, I don't really have anything really to add. I think you answered my one question. I mean, you seem qualified for the position, but the conflict you've addressed, and I guess that's acceptable, just to recuse yourself in the event of a direct conflict?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, I don't have any active projects. The last thing I was remotely involved with was with a previous employer. I was working on the Belmont Middle School. But other than that, I haven't had a project in Gaston County in the last year, so it's not frequent.
Okay. That's all I have.
Any other questions? That's it? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for coming to see us
Thank you, we'll be in touch.
and applying, yeah.
Thank you, yeah.
That's
Nice to meet you.
no points on that, right? All right. Matthew Hart's the next person, huh?
Next is Matt Hart, also for the Planning and Zoning Board.
Huh?
Good evening.
Hi there.
How are
Hi,
y'all?
Matt, how you doing, okay?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Good. And you're applying for positions down at Planning Board, Matt Hart?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you've been at Belmont now for several years?
Just going on 2, yes, sir.
Going on 2, okay. All right, very good. And what would you like to see done on the Planning Board that's different than what's being done now? Anything?
I think there's an opportunity in any case from this point forward to make changes. We're certainly learning from the past, but I think as new board members come on and roll off, there's an opportunity for the new blood to provide a point of view, a perspective. Certainly learning from those who continue to serve and to see what's happened before, but I think always put a step forward and not always take a step back is maybe my approach.
Yeah, that's a very important position, being on the Planning Board, because the information that comes from them comes to us that we vote on. So you work with the city planners and council to implement the growth vision. Anybody have any questions for
Well, Matt,
Matt?
just looking at your application, you're a licensed architect,
Yes, sir.
Historic Preservation Committee, Valdosta, Georgia for some time,
Yes, sir.
and leadership roles, I guess you're still serving American Institute of Architects.
Yes, sir.
I guess what I'm driving at, I mean, you've got an impressive application, resume, and I'm guessing a great deal of what you're going to be looking at you've seen before to some extent, as far as certain ordinances, development.
Sure. Yes, sir. I think you can look at it a couple ways. First, being on the Historic Preservation Commission in Valdosta, I saw the process by which a board such as this works, where we hear from staff and take the recommendations of staff embed among the committee and the board, and then present to you all. I think that's something that I can bring, sort of there's really no learning curve there. Obviously, different state, but it's something I look forward to sort of jumping right in. And then also, in my role as an architect, I certainly do work all across the state. Education work, municipal work, so no residential, we're strictly commercial business. So seeing those different code and ordinances from different municipalities is something I'm aware of and keen on.
So you feel like you could hit the ground running, more or less, and absorb our codes and understand what's
Sure.
going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you were a Florida Gator too, huh?
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, that's all right.
Yes, sir. I went to school there before I got my master's at Savannah College of Art and Design.
Good.
Any Auburn fans in the room? I'm sorry.
I'm a Gamecock fan, but that's all right.
Okay, very good.
What are some of the things you think we're doing well in the city? What are some of the things you think we could improve upon?
Good question. I think right now is a prime time for us to look at how we can do things better. Again, sort of going back to that first comment about knowing where the past is, but always looking forward to try to improve on that. I see the growth around town. There's houses being built. My commute gets a little bit longer each day, but you know what, I think understanding why that's happening first and foremost is important, but then how do you implement sort of the balanced and smart growth to address it? It doesn't mean that we just expand Stowe Road and make it 6 lanes and solve all the traffic issues. It's understanding what kind of impact a decision like that would be to all the members and the residents along the road. Obviously, that's a very extreme condition, but I think part of my thought process as an architect is to evaluate and to vet all options, not just the one that one member likes or another member dislikes. It's hearing the whole plan, it's hearing all the different opportunities and challenges, and then making the choice on the right one. So I think we're doing a great thing here. We have a great opportunity. Obviously, growth is coming. Growth has already come, but growth is coming perhaps faster than it has been. So understanding what that means is going to be important as we move forward to the near future, and then as the comprehensive plan continues to develop over the next 20 years, I think it's something we can always get back to.
Very good. Anybody have any other questions?
I don't.
Ron, you good?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
For being willing to serve, and that's good that you served in Valdosta, Georgia, too. That's good that you're civic-minded.
Thank you so much.
That's good. Thank you very much.
All right, great.
You're right, fire in line.
Yeah.
Jim?
Hi, Jim.
Good evening, Mayor. How are you?
How you doing, okay?
Very well, thank you.
I'm looking for your page here.
You
What do I do
don't
with
have an application for him, or Ted.
Okay,
Because they've been here.
They've been
Okay,
here
all
for
right.
quite a long time and we could not find them.
okay. I'm just glad I didn't call you Teresa.
I'm glad you did.
She's not here yet.
I've known Jim a long time, so you served on the Travel and Tourism Board for a pretty good while,
I think about 10 years.
10 years.
not-
Yeah, we were on it
not
together
at the
years ago,
beginning.
yeah.
I'm sorry?
We served on it together years ago.
We did. I think you and Martha were both on the.
Yeah, I
on the
think so,
board, and Then
yeah,
I was appointed later. I
yeah,
think you were on the original.
yeah, yeah. Have you enjoyed serving on the Travel and Tourism Board?
It's an incredibly rewarding part of my professional life and personal life.
Yeah, I think you guys have done a pretty good job. Do you have any questions for Jim as far as that goes? You've served now for how many years now, Jim?
I think it's around 10.
Probably close to it, I would say. Yeah,
Served probably 3 or 4 years as chair, rotated off as chair, and then I've served as chair again for about a year and a half or 2 years now.
what would you do differently that you've done the last number of years?
So
With the
we've
travel and
become-
tourism.
We've become a very professional board now, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of that. I think there's some opportunities that are coming up. The Belmont Blooms event that we've been planning in conjunction with the city staff, I think is
Right.
great. I think, seeing helping the Charlotte, or the Belmont Trolley become a reality.
Right.
In partnership with the city. And then I think the opportunity is the new hotel coming online. And
Yes.
exploring new opportunities that increased revenue will give us. So
How close are we to getting the trolley on the tracks?
I don't know how close we are. I would expect that that the tourism board would hear from the trolley board here in the next month or two.
Okay.
So Jim, since I've been on the planning, or the Travel and Tourism Board, I know we kind of put the bylaws in place and started formalizing the budget process. And we've also kind of done some planning, and we're transitioning, it seems like, maybe to be a little bit more deliberate about how we're doing things. And so, I'm not always great at explaining how we transition, but maybe if you could kind of bring some of the other members of council up to speed on what we've been doing to kind of change.
That's exactly what we did. So, you know, I think when, let's say, I guess Councilman Turner was on the board, and then you joined the board. I guess you had been on the board for about a year. We were under other leadership at that time, and that chair resigned from the board, and so we had to elect new leadership, and with the direction of the board, we did establish new bylaws. We established a 6-month budget that first year because we had not had one. We were mid-year, so we established a 6-month budget, and then this past year we established a full-year budget to be in compliance with those bylaws. The thing that we did immediately prior to that was we worked with the Lyerly Agency to develop a 3-year strategic plan.
Right.
And that includes, I can't tell you how many points of, very specific points that we need to address over the next 3 years, but it in fact included helping develop a new signature event for the city of Belmont, and we're doing that. It included trying to bring in folks that are a little closer in. They're still tourists. A tourist is defined as somebody that comes from 50 miles out. So instead of trying to get people here from Atlanta or Raleigh, we're looking at beyond Charlotte. And so we're trying to get people here from Concord and Charlotte too. If, you know, those folks read Our State magazine, which we recently started advertising. Those folks see the Charlotte 5 that's produced by the Charlotte Observer, but it also gets people with, you know, beyond that 50-mile limit.
I think we've done a pretty good job trying to attract people to Belmont. I see a lot of people from this close surrounding areas that come here to visit a lot, so good job. Okay. Anybody have anything else? You all right? Okay, Martha?
I'm good.
I'm good, I'm familiar with Jim.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Have a good evening.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. We'll be in touch.
Yes, we got Terry Wilson, right?
Yes. Sorry, she wasn't here.
Teresa Wilson, Terry. She goes by Terry.
Teresa. Flo Wilson's wife's name's Terry, too. Queens. Got a good resume here. Wow. How about that? How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Good.
How you doing?
Doing good, Teresa. Good. You go by Terry, though, right?
You go right there.
I thought you did. There's another Terry Wilson in Belmont, too.
I know, there's a variety. It's not too uncommon.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you being willing to serve on the Planning and Zoning Board. Tell us a little bit about why you want to serve.
I think part of it is certainly to be involved in the life of the community here. That I think a lot of my job is, which of course is in Charlotte, but a lot of my job is about helping to create a culture that everybody feels welcome, and that people in a variety of different circumstances can work together. Hospitals can be kind of cutthroat places these days, and how to create an environment where all sides are seen. Also, I feel like I bring a very different background. This is, you know, planning and zoning is not something I have gone to school for. I've gone to school for a lot of other things, but a lot of my work is working with people and coming to agreements. And so I think part of some of the gifts that I bring are around how do you help people work together so that they can kind of see the best. And I have a strong conviction about working towards the common good. And what would be the common good for both. I have to say, one of the things that kind of made me think about it is I have a brother-in-law who was city planner for a town about the same size as Belmont, about 4 times as large. And he was saying that they kind of like people who were not professionals in the fields, you know, that people who had different outlooks. And I felt like I would bring a different outlook to probably a lot of those things that normally do.
Well, you know, that's interesting, because that's what intrigues me about you, and that you came out and said that, because we interview a lot of engineers and folks for this position, and listening to you, I was wondering the same thing you do, is the perspective that's applied. You know, I mean, engineers are taught to think a certain way. You know, this is this, and this is the only way we can see this. But like you say, other folks not trained in that discipline may bring a different perspective to it, which sprinkled throughout the boards is probably a good thing.
What are some of the things you think we're doing well in Belmont right now, and some of the things we can improve upon?
I mean, I think you've created an environment that is it's got lots going on. It's, I think all every year the kind of, the concerts and the activities of the downtown. I also live right behind Houston High, and so even the kind of extension of work that's been done down at the Taba, on the Kevin Lofton Park. I mean, there's a lot of kind of the amenities of living in Belmont that I think are just make it a great place. I mean, everybody I know likes to come. My friends in Charlotte and Gaston and everybody else likes to come to Belmont. So I think that's been a really good thing. I think we're right on the edge of either doing things really well, or there's a lot of potential to not do things well. Because of, you know, everybody wants to move to Belmont, and it becomes a more expensive place to live. And so how do we do things that make this a place that is hospitable to lots of different people, and that we don't price ourselves out of the market for people of all different incomes. And that's probably one of the things that I would see is how do we do growth in a way that is not geared towards just one type of person, but has kind of welcomes the diversity of people.
Planning board faces a lot of technical issues too, and decisions that are sometimes very difficult to make for the benefit of the community. And do you think you'd be able to handle those issues okay?
Yeah, some of the field that I have done a lot of my academic work and has been around, I mean, it's theology, but it is also how do you read things that are very academic, that are very kind of, it's not the language that people talk in. And I think one of the things that I have a gift for is being able to read for what the meaning is.
Yeah.
That I'm not going to try and get every single word of like, and drill down to this is what this word means, but what is the meaning of the context, and what's the background of it, what's the history. So I think that's something that I would bring some strength in, is that, I mean, academically, I do well in that kind of thing. I mean, I have 2 master's degrees. School, that kind of academic stuff is not something I ever struggle with. And so my ability to learn and to understand, I think, is pretty strong.
Very good. Anybody have any other questions for Terry? No? All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Have a good day.
This is Melanie McIntyre? Yes, McIntyre, that's right.
Hey there.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
You must be Melanie McIntyre, right?
I am.
How'd we guess? You were next on the list. Welcome to Belmont, being willing to serve on our Tourism Authority Board. And I see you work with Billy Graham Evangelistic Association, huh?
I do, yes.
Good. Would that be an asset to you serving on this board?
I think so, because I work at the Billy Graham Library, and so I do the marketing and promote it as a tourist attraction. And so because of my professional dealings in the tourism industry, I feel like I can since I understand the industry.
Okay. You went to Radford, huh?
I did.
And James Madison. How about that, Adrian? That's where he got his master's degree.
Oh, from JMU?
How about that, huh? Yeah.
I started there and transferred to finished out there.
How long have you lived in Belmont?
I've been here a little over 2 years.
2 years now?
Yeah, May was 2 years.
Good. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask?
How do you target your dollars at the library to drive people in, and what's your target market?
We have multiple markets there, so obviously our main market is Christians. So we do, which I say that's our main market. It's not supposed to technically be. I mean, the library is considered to be an evangelistic tool, evangelistic ministry. So really, our target market is unsaved people. But we also are positioned as a tourist attraction. We're positioned as a ministry. So because of that, there are so many different avenues we use. So we have dollars that go into print ads, and some of those magazines and publications are Christian. Some of them are a lot of tourism based, so bus tours, group tours, student tours, those kinds of things, homeschool groups, things like that. So we target all these different markets and we position ourselves in different ways to each of them. So we might position ourselves as a history, as a field trip for historical things, because Mr. Graham was involved in so much of our history. For group tours, we position ourselves as a tourist attraction, as something else to do when you're in North Carolina or something else to do when you're in Charlotte. And then obviously for Christian publications and Christian markets, we position ourselves as a ministry. So print ads, outdoor ads, a lot of digital advertising. But then we also spend quite a bit of money to go to tourism conferences. So American Bus Association puts on a huge convention every year. Travel South is another really big conference that happens every year. And so we spend a lot of money I go to these and I have individual appointments with tourism, tour operators, group tour planners. And I really am pitching not just the library, I'm pitching Charlotte. Sometimes I'm pitching North Carolina because some groups aren't even coming to our state, and if they are, they're going just to Asheville. So I'm also pitching them to try to get them to come to Charlotte, stay in Charlotte, the Charlotte area, which we do mention Daniel Stowe and things like that. So that's another great place where a lot of our dollars go.
Very good. Anybody have any other questions they'd like to ask?
Let me ask you, I know we have the Daniel Stowe Botanical Garden, and we have a tourism and development authority because we had a hotel, which was generating revenue. What do you see? Why do I want to come to Belmont? I mean, if we're trying to develop tourism here, absent of the gardens, I mean, what do you see here that's going to be a draw to bring people? I mean, if we're talking tourism, there has to be an attraction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that, the appeal to me is just that kind of small town life that I feel like is becoming less and less prevalent in the country. And I think people are drawn to like nostalgia and just sort of what life kind of, a simpler kind of life. And that's kind of why I live in Charlotte. I've been in Charlotte for 13 years before I moved here. And that's why I was going to Belmont as a resident. But before that, I would come visit because it just felt like I wasn't in Charlotte. I felt like I wasn't in the city. So, I mean, I think that makes it a little more difficult to position it if you don't have a large attraction like Daniel Stowe. But I think that the idea is also to think about what's around Belmont. And so, like I said before with the library, like a lot of people aren't going to come just to the library. I mean, a lot of people are, but a lot of groups aren't going to come. So I have to sell the surrounding area. And so I think Belmont might have to do the same thing, look at what else is around Belmont, and maybe even have to go as far as Charlotte, but like to bring people, while you're here, you can do this in Belmont, but then you can go to Gastonia and do this, and then you can go to Mount Holly and do this, and kind of almost as a package deal.
It's more regional, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
But smaller region, I don't think you have to go very far to find a lot to do around here.
Okay.
Melanie, where's Courtly Lane?
Courtly is at Eagle Park.
Eagle Park.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Got neighbors.
Okay.
Anybody have any other questions? Ron, you got anything?
Just that the meetings are like in the mid-morning, Are you able to, would you be able to commit your time?
I think so. I mean, I know I work at the library, I work in Charlotte, but because I went and looked at, some of your past meeting minutes, and I noticed that. But I think that my boss, just letting them know that this is, something that I'm serving on, I think I can be pretty flexible and just going into work a little bit late.
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you
for your time.
It's
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you all.
And be willing to serve. I'll pick up any points Adrian heard going to James Madison. Ted, I'm glad I got your email message today about the meeting in the morning.
Thanks for coming.
All right, Ted, you've been on the Travel and Tourism Authority for a pretty good while. Tell us why you want to continue serving on it.
Yes, sir, I think I'm one of the original members of that
Yeah.
board. And I've enjoyed all the years that I've participated in the tourism board. I think my background in communications, 20-plus years in the newspaper business, as an editor, publisher of small daily newspapers. I think that serves me well in that position. And of course, the involvement with the Chamber of Commerce, right here in downtown Belmont, being a Belmont resident, I think all of that pushed me well to contribute on that board. Enjoyed it, and I'd like the opportunity to continue to serve if that's what.
Do you think we've made improvement on our tourism visitors that we have?
Of course, we have tremendous improvement, I think.
Good.
I think it's evidenced by people that I just met
Yeah.
in the hallway outside who are relatively new residents of the community and interested in serving. And a lot of people in Belmont who fall in love with Belmont. And I think it's contributed to economic development by being out there and promoting Belmont as we do throughout the region, throughout multiple states. I think tourism is important, more than just beds and beds at the hotel, and diners in the restaurants, shopping.
Yeah.
We have commercial shops. It's important for all those things. But in addition, it attracts people to come here and live, buy houses, raise families, become city council members.
Yeah. You've been an asset to our community. Anybody have any questions for Ted?
I don't have any. I'm familiar with Ted on the board.
Monty, good? Right. Thanks, Ted. I
Thanks, Ted.
appreciate it. That was a quick one, wasn't it, huh? Yeah.
Short and painless.
You must be Stephen Turner.
I am.
Here early, huh? We got you in early.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, traffic was good today.
And you want to serve on the Planning and Zoning Board. Tell us a little about your background, Steve, why you want to serve on the Planning and Zoning Board.
My background, I'm electrical engineer. I graduated from NC State in 1993 and have been working in the consulting world pretty much since then, doing designs of all sorts of types of facilities. Currently, right now, the firm I work with, we design hospitals, we do a lot of federal government work, and I get to interact with a lot of developers and guys like that for types of buildings that we design. So, that's my background as far as work goes. I also have a family and live here in Belmont, and I've lived here for almost 5 years in November. So just starting to look to get involved with the city. And actually, a friend of ours had mentioned planning and zoning center before a couple of years ago, and one of our neighbors had also mentioned might be a good fit for it, just based on my background. So that's my mission.
Good. Anybody have any questions for Steve?
So what are some of the things that we're doing well in the city, and what are some of the things you think we can improve on?
You're doing well, you're doing a lot well. I mean, we absolutely love living here. You know, we moved here 5 years ago, and we moved to Charlotte in 2006. And I really wish we'd moved here. We just basically love living here. We live in Stowe Manor, just right behind Stowe Manor. And so we love, you know, we walk down here, we love all the things that the city has going on, the events that they have, the things we're able to come participate in. And then, you know, we love how the city has done a great job of keeping itself kind of separated and not trying to go so commercial with, you know, having just a whole bunch of stuff in town and around town. So we just really like how it's a small town, but it's close to Charlotte. And as far as things you can improve upon, I don't have a list. Like I said, we really enjoy just about everything about here.
So Stephen, with your background, electrical engineering and plans, I mean, you feel like you could, the learning curve would be rather short to pick up the process and the language and everything here that you'd be dealing with?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've been exposed to a lot of planning and zoning issues with the types of developments that we work with and the owners that we work with, and we've had to work through a bunch of different things over the years, I guess from different sides. So I don't think I'd have any problems picking up on the language and what exactly has to go on. You know, the things I'd be interested in catching up on is, I mean, I would assume there's, that you guys have rules and regulations of how you want to keep Belmont, and how, you know, that there's an overarching set of regulations that you would like to stay, you know, Belmont to keep it as it is, and then, you know, we would work through and around that as people come with different ideas of wanting to change zoning or bring in business or whatever.
You know, the meetings, and I don't know what your schedule is like, but they can go long, and sometimes they can be contentious, depending on the issue. I've been involved a couple, so you have to have kind of a thick skin sometimes, because, you know, public can become passionate about the issue.
Yeah, I'm pretty thick skin, and I am patient to a point. But yeah, I understand.
Okay.
And I understand about going long. I don't have a problem with that. It's just if we had to start early in the afternoon or something, you know, it just depends on my travel schedule as to how, if I could get here like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, you know. I just have to.
I don't think they've ever gone early. I think they pretty much are at 6:30, but I mean, we've been involved in some that have gone to, I think, 11 o'clock, 11:30 sometimes. So I mean, they can go long. Make for an early morning the next day.
Are you from North Carolina?
No, I'm actually from Greenville, South Carolina.
From Greenville. I worked for Liberty Life 16 years.
Oh, yeah?
Sure did.
Yeah. I got good friends still working.
Yeah, good. Good company. All right. Anybody have any other questions for Stephen?
No,
Thank you for your time.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This is Adam Snell. He is here, and we are reading on employees.
All right, so we can take you early then, huh?
Yes, sir.
How about
Thank you. I
that?
appreciate your time this evening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll get myself out.
All right. And you want to serve on the Main Street Advisory Board?
Yes, sir.
Right. Tell us a little bit about why you want to serve on the Main Street Advisory Board.
Well, so my wife and I, we just moved from Charlotte, South Charlotte, about 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
And really just fallen in love with the downtown area. And thought that it would be a good opportunity to kind of get involved and get plugged into the community. And looking at all the openings that were available, that one seemed to resonate with me most. Just because we like to get out and walk around and see what's going on. And so when I saw Main Street Advisory Council, I thought, you know what, that might be for me.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Adam?
So, go ahead, Martha.
What do you not like? In other words, what do you see are any weak areas that we have?
Any weak areas?
About,
Well, I see it looks like there's a lot of traffic picking up, and that's probably from people like me moving into this place.
yeah, you are a problem.
Yeah, I apologize about that. If you see me zipping around, I'll try to, be mindful of that. But, yeah, Yeah, I think that there's definitely a lot more traffic. I mean, even in the short time that we've been here, we've noticed that. So we try to be mindful of that and how people would navigate around the Main Street area because it is the main thoroughfare. From about Thursday night to about Sunday evening, you see a lot of traffic just from walking up and down the street and coming into town. So maybe work on something that would help ebb the flow of that or make it a more natural progression where it would bypass some of the pedestrian traffic. I think that would be something to keep in mind as this area goes out.
So the Main Street program emphasizes East Belmont, kind of this downtown area. We're trying to, I guess, promote the businesses, kind of maintain some of the architectural standards, make it viable and vibrant. And so what are some ideas that we could do to maybe enhance our community that's already pretty popular?
Yeah. Well, I think you're going to get a lot of that just organically because people are, I think, migrating this direction because, like I tell people, we're kind of heading in the footsteps of our forefathers heading west. We're kind of, moving out of an area that we've been in our entire lives. I've been born and raised in Charlotte. One of the things that I really like is the continuation of that feel. So I've seen the areas that are kind of to the right of where South Mid Cycles is located. That building that's going on there, it looks like it's still going to preserve some of the same landscape or some of the same building structure as what's in place now. So I think a lot of it will come organically. I think the way that the development is taking place thus far is still kind of trying to utilize the infrastructure that's there. When I look at Catawba and kind of go out of town, I see the place on the right that's going to be a co-working space, and it looks like they're still going to be utilizing the infrastructure that's there. Or I see some of the other businesses that are coming in, they're really trying to keep and preserve what's already kind of there foundationally. So I think the growth is going to come organically, and I think if we can still utilize the infrastructure that's in place, I think that would be the appropriate way to kind of move forward.
I have one other question, and it's because our Main Street director is here. Of all of our organizations throughout the community, this one probably enlists more volunteer hours. So they're the ones who put on the concerts, serve the drinks at the concerts, show up, set up. I mean, it's either like people love to get out there and volunteer on their Friday evenings, or they can't commit to it. So is that something you think you'd be willing to commit to? Is being able to put in the volunteer hours in addition to the ongoing meetings?
Oh, absolutely. Just don't ask me to pass out sunscreen because I didn't do too good of a job of it this week. But it's something that I'm definitely interested in.
Okay.
My philosophy is I just want to get involved. I want to serve in whatever capacity. I'm happy to do it. I'd like to get more ingrained with the fabric of this community.
Pretty good.
Let me ask you a question. They usually meet first thing in the morning. Is that a problem with your job?
What time in the morning?
Usually 7:30.
That's no problem. My job is flexible. I have the ability to do that. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any other questions?
No, the questions already been asked, already been asked. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on in.
Welcome to
Thank you.
Belmont.
Oh, thank you. Glad to be here.
We'll be in touch. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
You made it, Doug.
Sorry. I know I was not going to get here.
That's all right, you did good. You did good. We got Michael Cooley next. He's over in Eagle Park too, isn't he?
We were ahead of schedule.
Mayor? Mayor, over?
Yeah.
Question for you.
What you got?
Don't you have this proclamation?
What time are these level two?
6:10, 6:25.
Tell me about it.
How you doing? Got some
Basically, you know.
pretty qualified people here.
Oh, really? Yeah? Really?
That's astonishing. I think, that's
You know,
my own
I mean,
opinion.
this town just keeps, people keep moving in that,
Most of them have been here 2 years or less.
yeah.
All well-educated, understand.
I don't think so.
No, it's interesting.
No, I'm not gonna worry about
It's
it.
also interesting, that it seems like all the new people will get brought in. Some of the other folks are staying away.
Thanks for doing that, Jamie. Hey, Seth.
Make yourself useful, sir.
Earn your paycheck today.
That's a new pin.
Oh, I thought maybe
That's
this
the
was
first
like
big
my
test.
watch for
No, it's different than the other one.
finishing my service.
How do you guys
That's
connect?
different than the other
You
one.
just plug it in?
There's a little more detail.
It's
I know, it's
Wi-Fi,
beautiful.
so it connects to our
It
router,
is.
and then we need to go to an IP address or use an app. I would prefer to be hardwired.
Yeah, I bet. Is there a way to get rid of the automatic timing out?
Technically, it's not supposed to do that. So I just reset the wireless router in there to hopefully.
It just disconnected, and you see it says unable to retrieve content.
But you know how the screen goes black if you don't touch it after a while?
That's on that.
But that would cause that to go black.
Yes.
I don't know if there's a way, because I have that in my office
Yeah,
where
that
like,
didn't go
it has to
black.
go black after like 30 seconds if I don't touch it, and then that'll kill all my connections.
Michael Cooley and Michael Cooley is Main Street, Christine Green is
There's somebody walking in now.
Michael Cooley. Remember Eddie Cooley and Dimples? Made a song called Priscilla years ago.
Really?
And then the flip side was Driftwood.
This is Michael Cooley.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? Good to see you. Like your socks.
Thank you.
They like Adrian's socks, don't they, huh?
Yeah.
All right. And you want to serve on the Main Street Advisory Board.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about why you want to do that.
So originally I'm from Wake Forest, North Carolina, little suburb just outside of Raleigh. And when I moved to Charlotte, I missed kind of that small town feel that Wake Forest gave me. My father's the athletic director at the local high school there.
Yeah.
And it was one of those areas where anywhere we went, he knew somebody or somebody knew him, and the buzz was kind of always going around the town, and conversations were there, and that was just it's a feeling that I missed. I live, kind of closer to uptown in Charlotte,
Yeah.
and I knew after being there for about 6 months, I knew that I wanted to get to somewhere where it felt more like home to me.
Sure. I can understand that. Tell us why you would like to go ahead and be a part of this organization as far as the downtown development. Do you think we can improve on our downtown area?
Yeah, so I think it's one of those, I'm just moving to the area. I've been here for about 4 months now. My girlfriend and I are actually building in one of the new developments kind of over by Stuart Cramer High School. So it's an area where I'm going to be for the next 10, 15 years, I'd imagine at least. So I want to invest myself, my time, my effort, my energy, and hopefully do what I can to help Belmont become the best town and city that it can be. I think that there's absolutely, as with any town, you have to kind of find that happy medium between the beauty of the historic part of the town and the inevitable growth that it would see just because of the influx of population and then everything that comes with that.
And you live on Assembly right now, right?
Yes, sir. Right now, we're with my girlfriend's mother, while our house is going up. So we're liking it so far, but we're
Yeah.
moving just on the other side of Stuart Cramer High School in hopefully about 4 months. So.
That's gonna be in Cramerton, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But there's not a residency requirement for the Main Street Board.
Oh, okay.
I think our address, from what the subdivision told us, is a Belmont address.
Okay.
It's tricky like that. So,
It's a long story.
we'll talk about it over dinner sometime. So this board involves a great deal of volunteerism, so a lot of hours put in to do the concerts and to do some of the festivals. Would you be willing and able to kind of put in the extra effort above and beyond the regular meetings to volunteer and do what's necessary to help promote the community?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that'll be the part that I probably look forward to more than anything. I like to get out, show face, shake hands, and just get to know everybody. You know, if I go out to dinner, I'd like to have those little conversations, not too much where I'm, bothering the person, but just to say, hey.
Yeah.
Great.
And you coach a little football too, huh?
Yes, sir.
How about that? Yeah.
They usually meet at 7:30 in the morning. Is that a problem with your work schedule?
No, sir, it wouldn't. I do commercial construction recruiting. So essentially, I work my own book of business, and they're pretty flexible as long as I get my work done, and I can kind of flex my hours a little bit.
So what's commercial construction recruiting mean?
So my territory is Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi. I have local sales reps who live down in that area. We work mainly in HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. So my job is to locate skilled tradesmen in those areas. My sales reps in those areas find the jobs of the contractors that are local to those, really all three of those states. And then my job is to kind of manage each project, make sure that I'm getting the plumbers and quality tradesmen out to those positions.
Very good.
All right. Very good. You have any questions for us? You want to ask us, or?
I'm sure as soon as I walk out here, I will, but right off the top of my head, no, sir, I don't.
You're an honest man. Honest man, okay. Very good. I saw you majored in kinesiology too, huh? You got your degree in kinesiology.
Yes, sir, health and fitness specialist. I'm a very proud East Carolina Pirate.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice kid.
Santiago.
Where's 135 North Main Street? That's City Hall? Or we 132? Jamie, what's our address here?
115?
115? Where's 132?
That's Robert Lee's house. That's his daughter.
Robert Lee's house?
Yes, that's his daughter. She no longer lives there.
Oh,
She lives
okay.
over in the
Okay.
Denver district.
She applied back in April.
Yeah.
Huh?
She applied in April.
Okay.
Who's that?
Christine Green. I think that's an old address.
I see it now. Christine Stowe Green. Yeah, how about that? Belmont's Chris too. You have a busy day today?
Not really. I took the day off to play in a charity golf event. It was stressful though, very stressful.
And you hit
I played okay.
Where was it?
Rain Tree?
Yeah, I just played there a couple weeks ago with Ron Lovelace for some charity golf
Yeah.
thing.
I played.
It was so hot we cut out after about 13 holes.
Really?
It was brutal.
They said it was nice, but
That's a nice course though.
Rain Tree. What's the one across the street from Rain Tree? Maybe that's the one we played.
that's, oh my gosh.
Right across the street,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the one we ended up with.
Is that Cedarwood?
Cedarwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played that for like adoption services or something.
Yeah.
So your next interview is at 6:25.
She's walking in right now. So let's do it now.
What, do you have x-ray vision? You're looking through the walls and...
Well, I can see the doors.
You can sit up here, I can sit up here.
Front center.
That's great. You're the star.
Hey. Christine, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
How's mom and dad?
They're good.
They're doing good.
You're probably wondering where their van is right about now, but they'll be okay.
Good. And you're willing to serve on the Planning and Zoning Board?
Yes, sir.
Tell us why you'd like to serve on it.
Well, I think that right now that we're going through a big change and there's a lot of commuting back and forth and there's been a lot of interesting things that have come to Belmont, but we're a small place and we're in between two, bodies of water, so it kind of makes it a little difficult, but I'd like to be able to learn as much as I can, be able to put some input where I can be able to provide it, but, I'm still fairly young and new to this type of thing, so it's mostly just for learning and maybe being of assistance at some point.
Okay.
Of all the different organizations within the city, why planning and zoning? It's often one of the more contentious organizations.
I find that I tend to complain a lot about it, so I figure maybe I would be able to do so much if I'm actually a part of it.
That's a great answer.
Well, that leads to, what do you think we've done well and what areas do we need to improve in?
Well, there's a lot of development going on, and development is a good thing, and we should focus on the momentum, but at the same time, infrastructure tends to come later, and time is money, and everybody's trying to get to work and be able to work on that, and it's kind of stressful when we're trying to jam as much people into one space as possible. We can't do what we have to do because there's no ability to do it in the amount of time it's expected of us.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people want to come here. That's what makes it.
And it's a great place, they should.
When I moved out to a town in New Jersey, we had 6,000 people. In 1953. In several years, it went up to 18,000.
Yeah.
That was a difficult thing to adjust, but we got around okay. We did okay.
My town was about 7,000. It's about 5,000 now.
Oh,
We
really?
got it from the other
Don't
side.
move it down
too.
south, right?
Well, it's tricky.
Yeah. Mine's a similar situation, but
Let me ask you one quick question. Something caught my eye, and it's an intriguing response. You said that you would like to explore working with the city and its citizens to ensure we grow in the best economical way. What does that mean to you? What is the best economical way for us to grow?
Again, I'm new to a lot of different things. I hold 2 committee board spots at the country club right now, so I'm still learning a lot about what benefits a city and what brings stress to it. I don't, as far as that, I think we do a good job trying to bring people in, and we do, the summer park things that we do. We shut down, we do our Friday night live, and then, now we're doing Thursday night pops, and trying to make sure that we're exploring what we can, but not doing too much too fast. Does that?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, that makes
making sure that we
good
cover
sense.
certain bases, but we're not putting too much out there and that we're not able to control it in a safe way.
Okay. That makes sense.
Anybody have any other questions? Christine? So you went to Commerce College too?
I did,
Yeah.
on purpose.
There's a reason for it, huh?
As Ryan said, it is a contentious board periodically. I'm sure you're aware of that. And the only other thing, the meetings usually go pretty smoothly and on time. They start about 6:30, I think, but they can go long.
That's okay.
That's fine with you, because, you can find yourself in a meeting sometimes much longer than you
I
anticipated.
stay at work until 8:30, 9 o'clock sometimes.
Okay.
So being in a meeting where I want to be is probably a little bit.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Did you win the Dancing with the Stars competition?
I didn't, but I actually came in it was like 3 of us tied for second.
Yeah.
So that, for technically winning in the dance and the money raised.
Yeah.
So that's very
That's great.
big.
That's great. That's good.
Very good.
thing. All right. Very good. Anybody have anything else?
I'm good, thank you.
No.
Christine, thanks so much.
Yeah, appreciate
For being willing to
interest.
serve. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Very much.
All right.
You guys want to move this to the other room? Where there's feet set up?
We're still in session, so if you've now interviewed all 3 applicants for the 2 spots on the Tourism Authority and all 5 applicants for the 2 spots on Planning and Zoning. So you can make those appointments and then we can adjourn the special meeting.
Okay. Well, for the Tourism Authority, I'm of course familiar with Ted and Jim, but, I was also impressed with Miss McIntyre. She had good experience, and I think she has a lot of energy. So, that would mean, making a change on the board. So, I like all 3, but I was just kind of impressed with her qualifications and the energy she had.
And to that, Shelley, I don't believe there's a limited membership of the Tourism Board. I think they added a spot last year for Carrie East, I believe.
For Carrie East, yes, we did
So,
have a spot for
if right now the body is however many members, say there's 2 spots available. If you couldn't decide on just 2 of those 3, you could vote to add a new member to have all 3. Just
I'd like to
as
throw out
information.
the idea that we expand it to this young lady. She has a lot of enthusiasm.
I think so too.
That board can use all the help it can get. I mean that in a positive way. It's a tough board.
She has enthusiasm. Sometimes, that's more of a benefit than it is long-term membership on a board.
Yeah.
Jim puts more hours in than the rest of the board combined.
Yeah.
He puts a lot
And
out.
so
He has for years, you're right.
And so if I got to go to bat for somebody, I don't see that board functioning to the next meeting without a lot of his leadership.
Ryan, how do you feel about adding a member? You've
I
been
think
on
that's a
that
great
board.
idea.
Yeah. I
Let
think
me
so.
ask you, we currently have 7, and just to play devil's advocate, we're going to be in this position periodically to where we have to make a decision. Is the answer to grow the board, or is the answer to make a decision?
So
No,
who would you
need to
take
grow.
off?
You need to grow this board. You're going to add another hotel. You're going to have a lot more involved. So I think it's going to need to grow.
So the current complement would not be able to handle the additional whatever may come up
Well, you
with
should
the
have
new
a
hotel?
representative from that other hotel once that opens. So you're going to add one automatically anyway.
So then we would be at, what, 9?
Right. Unless there's something from the dynamic that I'm not remembering correctly, because all the hotels are supposed to have some representation if they choose to.
So where do we cap the board? Do we just, every time we like somebody and we don't want to put somebody off, we grow the board? And then
I'm sure you're the one involved adding her. So are you not wanting to do that then?
No, I didn't, The option of growing the board, when I said that, wasn't on the table. That was introduced afterward. I mean, what I was saying is, I guess we would have to replace one of the members, but I mean, if the will of the council is just, instead of maintaining the current membership level at 7 and to grow the board, and when the hotel comes online, grow the board again, then I guess that's somewhat of an adopted policy.
So do we need a motion then from
In order to get it settled, I make a motion that we add her to the board, and we can either let it go by, or we can put it to
and confirm all three of them?
yeah, I'd like to make a motion, we confirm all 3 applicants.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
I'm opposed. I think we should maintain some level. I mean, we have to grow the board when we put on a new hotel, but I don't think we just have to continually grow the board.
This girl's a sharp cookie, though.
Yeah.
Don't miss out on her.
And
The planning and zoning is next. You have 2 seats for that. And that membership is fixed.
So Shelley, who's on that board currently?
Walter. Jim Heffron, Walter
Yes, it
Dixon.
has, let's see.
I mean, the name tags might be in there.
Walter Dixon, yeah, I can bring it for names. Walter Dixon,
Allison.
Andy Miller.
Allison.
Allison Cottingham and Jim
Jim
Heffron.
Heffron.
Then Liska,
Jerry Liska.
Jay Liska, and
Dan
Dan Hartley, and. there's-
Patricia Franks and
Patricia
Neil Brand are
Franks.
coming off.
She's rotating
Yes,
off.
those 2 are rotating off.
So is Neil.
So Miller, Heffron, Dixon, Allison, and Liska are the remaining members,
Dan
Dan Hartley.
and Dan Hartley.
Yes.
So let me ask you, okay, Andy Miller, is he what is he? Is he an architect or an engineer? Is he with City of Charlotte?
He doesn't work for government, he's involved in affordable housing and multifamily housing.
Okay. Now Dan Hartley he's an architect, works for the City of Charlotte, or does business with them?
Private, private.
Okay, and Dan Liska is an attorney, right?
Jerry Liska.
Jerry Liska.
Yes.
Allison is a realtor.
Yes.
And what is Walter Dixon, retired?
Retired.
He represents the ETJ.
Okay. And Jim Heffron may or may not be on the board after November. Another attorney.
Yeah, will Jim continue to be able to serve on that board if he gets elected to the council? He can. I didn't think so. All right.
Anybody have any specific thoughts on this? I always like to build kind of a team that doesn't really represent a view, but rather just represents different ways of thinking and can come together and make a decision.
To that point, I liked Teresa Wilson in that aspect, is that she's not a professional in any of the disciplines that she, but I also liked Matt Hart, thought he was good.
I think if we're going to lose Neil Brennan, we're going to be losing a very technical guy too, so replacing that with an engineer or architect is probably beneficial.
Yeah.
I'm good with Matt Hart and Miss Wilson if you guys are.
I'm not in favor of Teresa Wilson, personally. I just,
Charles, who do you see as an alternative?
I like Matt Hart, and I thought Stephen Turner would be good.
Well, I mean, I liked all of them, but I mean, for me, for my 2 selections, I would go with Matt Hart and Teresa Wilson. Just add a little diversity to the board.
Let's do one of the.
You didn't get the chance to
There's
listen to
also,
any of those.
Nicholas Vesley,
Yeah,
I mean, he attended all the planning and zoning
Yeah,
meetings and
he's
actually
really
knows what buy rate
involved.
development
Yeah,
means, so.
I was very impressed with him.
You want to vote on Matt Hart first? I'll make a motion that Matt Hart.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, so Matt Hart's one.
And what was the other one?
Dick Bessley,
I like Dick Desley.
you say he's been coming to the meetings and the planning meetings and stuff?
Yes, I
And his
make a motion.
background is in
Yeah,
that
I
too,
make a
isn't it?
motion to approve Dick Desley.
I'll second it.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed?
Okay, that's 4-1, so I think Matt and Nick
I had top 3 ranks, I've had 2 of them.
are selections, okay.
Thank you. Then we have some more people to interview. We'll try to schedule a special meeting later this month to get this done. And so now, Mayor, we can adjourn the special meeting.
All right,
Make
a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
second, all in favor, say aye.
And we do have a quick box dinner in the Centennial Room.
Food.
15-minute quick.
Yes. Quick.
Parks is running.
What's this supper?
And Adrian, we'll have the rest of these people and some of these other different committees to
Yes.
be interviewed as well, so.
Got a list of volunteers. Every one of those people.
All right.